Let's see. I'm gonna go here and see if I can't go live on Instagram. What is going on, all you fishing freaks? Lightning M in the house.
Yeah,
Andrew
people
Six.
are here.
Yeah, Andrew. Thanks for the late 35th birthday. I'm 35 with 5 years experience, my man. But as the on-screen comment says, make sure you share this feed to get the word out. Let me know where you're seeing this at. You guys seeing this on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube? We are live on Instagram now. Probably
MySpace.
going to be MySpace. Yeah, I think actually we just got rid of MySpace and we picked up what was the man? I had it on the tip of my tongue and I just can't think of it right now. It was like what was the website that you could build your own website back in the day, and it was like old school stuff, man. It was like I don't know. I'll think of it in a minute. But
I had a
anyway,
Zank.
huh?
I
What
had a
is it?
Zank.
Yeah, I know that's kind of what I was talking about, but not Matt Strickland in the house. What's up, buddy? Anyway, welcome to this episode of On Another Line Live. We are working on talking about some things like House Bill 5033, 5033 for West Virginia. Shout out to those people. But right after this intro, we're going to get into JR's trip. We're going to talk about some crazy things that are happening. We're also going to talk about House Bill 5033. We're going to talk about the new GLX that G Loomis just released today, and that should probably wrap us up. But after this intro, we got some cool things to talk about, including a guest that'll be coming on very soon, Mr. Darren Abbott, who is the Lawrence County, Ohio game warden. So right after this short intro, we'll get right on into it. Let's get it.
That's a life of a fisherman you wouldn't understand. Something you can't feel on dry land. Gotta get your arms way up in a cage and set the hook on smallmouth bass, and then you'll understand. Gotta get your hands on a Shimano reel and a G Loomis rod. I bet you like what you feel. Step on the deck. Give it the world. Hello, welcome to my world.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to this episode of On Another Line Live. Drop a comment in the comments below. Let us know where you're seeing us at. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Just dropped off of MySpace. They finally kicked us off of there. And
Tom.
what is it?
Daggone it, Tom.
I know it, Tom. You know, here's the reason that I think that MySpace is better than Facebook. 3 reasons. Number one, you could have a profile song. That is number one, right? Like
Easy.
people.
But
Number two, and when I think about it now, is like so cutthroat. You had a top 10 friends list, and like you had the ability to make those top 10 friends lists. And number three, I just think it was better. I don't know.
you could embed videos on there. It was sweet.
Yeah. This episode brought to you by Malone's Marine in Ironton, Ohio. Find them at malonesmarine.com, I believe. Let me make sure that's true. It is malonesmarine.com. Never know if it's .org, .gov, .co, whatever. But we are, I mean, let's just call a spade, guys. We're in fishing season. And if you're not,
Today's the first day of spring.
it is. And last week we had really cool guest on, and we were talking about conservation. We're talking about F1 bass being stocked locally. And we talked about trying to get some people on that maybe we could get some ideas and things that are, that first off, I am in the situation where I believe that I want to be the person to help the DNR make my fishing waters better. And that is exactly what we were talking about last week. We had Mr. Kenner on last week, and it was a great conversation. If you missed that live video, you should definitely go out on YouTube and check it out. It was really good. But since that time, a lot of things have actually happened here on the show. One of those is that JR was in Texas. We'll talk to him about that in just a second. But I have reached out to Mr. Darren Abbott, who is the Lawrence County, Ohio game warden, and he is at a meeting for yesterday and today. I'm supposed to call him tomorrow evening. We're supposed to set up something for next week so he can come on and talk to us. And my thing is that I don't want to, this is not an attack session. I don't want to go at him and be like, how come you guys aren't stocking bass? I kind of want to do that, but that's not going to get anywhere. That's counterintuitive, and it's going to, we're going to poison the well before we actually get it started. So we're just going to have a conversation with him and try to figure out how myself and JR and any of you guys out there watching that are local, how we can be a better steward for the water and how we can help them help us, right? Because I think that there's a lot of people now in the industry that want to help get bass to a better situation. Ohio does a terrible job, in my opinion, of stocking fish that get eaten. They stock trout a lot. And JR and I were having a conversation on the phone today after work. And I think it's something that I'm kind of going to do some research on. Maybe when Darren's on here, maybe he can get me some more information on that. But I'd like to know what it costs per trout versus per bass to stock a pond. Like, for example, if a fingerling or, if a trout is eater size, let's say it's 6 inches long, and there are, a lot of people here that could work, but I want to know, is it a money issue? Is it they don't stock bass because it's a lot of money, etc.? And that's what we have Darren Abbott coming on to try to have a conversation to see how we can become better, have better stocking abilities. I know there's a lot of people out there, especially that watch the show and everywhere else, that would donate $50 to $100 to stock a local lake to just see it get better. And we've been talking about Florida strain bass or F1s or tiger bass. They're known by 100 different options of names. Jason Kenner last week was talking about how he has been trying to promote that stuff, and he's looking at mostly West Virginia, although he lives in Kentucky. They stock like threadfin shad and Paintsville and all kind of stuff. So they're doing a lot. But since that show, there's been some pretty cool breaking news from the West Virginia DNR. I'm going to share that really quickly. I'll share my screen with you guys just a second here. So you guys can see here, House Bill 5033. This is introduced January 23rd, 2024, by delegates Vance, Tony, Dean, and Bridges. So those would be the people that I would probably vote for if I were in West Virginia. Get those guys back in there, men and women. Couldn't tell you who they are. But 2024 regular season, this is introduced this year. It's basically saying that they're stocking a 3-year pilot program for stocking F1 largemouth bass fingerlings, otherwise known as tiger bass. Now, this is absolutely really cool because I think that they are taking steps to try to better the bass fishery in and around the area. Now, 4,000 fingerling bass. So I'm looking here, beginning of the date set forth in subsection D, the division shall stock the lakes set forth in subsection C, which we'll talk about in just a second, with 4,000 F1 bass fingerlings, otherwise known as tiger bass. Now, the fingerling stock are to be split amongst the 7 lakes proportionate to the acreage of the lake. So I don't want to negate this, right? I think this is big. Like, this is a small stepping stone. But when you think about 4,000 fingerling bass in 7 lakes here, and they're not going to it says they're not going to stock them evenly, but if you stock them evenly in lakes, that would only be 571 roughly bass per lake. And it even says that it's going to be split among the 7 lakes proportionate to the acreage of the lakes. Like, for example, Stonewall Jackson, Summersville are way bigger than Eastland. So they're going to get more than those. So, I mean, are they going to, is this going to be like 100 fingerling bass here in Summersville or in Eastland? But this is why I'm really crazy into this, is because Eastland Lake is not too far from me. And this gives me an option to go out and have a potential to catch a tiger bass or an F1 bass. Now, again, I'm a realist here, and I also believe that this 4,000 bass stocking in 7 different ponds is kind of like peeing on a forest fire. You think about 4,000 fish split amongst 7 lakes. Again, if you split them evenly, it's like 571 and some change per lake, which they're not going to do that. But I guess that's 3 years. I think they're going to do it all 3 years. But this is actually really daggone cool. And I like the idea that some things are happening. Sweet. So thank you for putting that out there, because the state of Ohio stocked so many muskie last year. It was crazy. And you're right. So that's the deal. Like Strick said, 80% of fingerlings will get 8, and that's the truth. Fingerling sized bass are perfect, forage for bass that are in lakes. Now, and that's why I think 4,000, like, I don't know where they get that number. Like, I know JR said that there is it a place in Athens, JR? You said that it's like a.
Yeah, there's a fishery, a hatchery in Athens that does tiger bass, which I've kind of looked into more so than anywhere else, just because it's so close.
Yeah, so maybe it's something we can reach out to them, because I'm sure they sell it to private people too. Maybe we can call out there and see what a 1 fingerling tiger bass makes. Maybe that.
Actually, they might have that on their website. I'll look.
Yeah. So, and I think that people like us and you guys that are watching, Jason Kenner and all of his following, which, by the way, he has a group on Facebook. Let me make sure that I get this right. I can actually put it in the comments if you would, or if I will. It's Anglers for Improving Opportunities. There's 1,800 people in there. Matter of fact, they posted a 15-pound, 14-ounce. Actually, it's bigger than that. It's like a guy broke the North Carolina state record yesterday, I think, and it was an F1 bass.
Oh, that thing was a monster. I saw that sucker.
That's a monster. So, so I think my limited knowledge. So again, this is why we need to get some wildlife biologists on here. My limited knowledge is that they think that lakes in our area or northern lakes have what's known as pure northern strain bass, which is not an F1 bass. But there's no way that that's true. There is absolutely no way. If you look at, I caught one mean mouth, but it wasn't in here. It was in Mississippi, which was a cool bass. But, I don't think you're getting absolute true northern bass anymore. But one thing that I think you do see is people wanting to catch bigger bass, but they're saying that now intermingling these fish now gets rid of the true northern bass species, which I couldn't speak to that. I'm not a wildlife biologist. Another thing they say is that the forage that is in the lake, bluegill, crappie, minnows, etc., will get decimated due to the fact that Florida strain grows twice as fast as a northern strain bass, and they eat basically twice as much. That I can get into, but my thing about that is, if they're worried about that, they should be stocking forage fish anyway. So is it on their website, Jared?
No, I can't see the actual price per bass. They do actually give you, they talk about contacting them and they show pictures of everything, but I can't get the actual price per. They have an email program, which I've emailed them before. I've not heard anything back, but I've called them back before too.
So I'm on a website just roughly here, and I couldn't tell you where. Let's see. This is a place in New York. This is predatory fins, and you guys are not seeing my screen right now, but holy crap. Maybe this is why they're only putting 4,000 in there, dude. These things are $38 a piece.
No way.
4.5 inches long. If you get into 6 inches, they're $58 a piece. Surely that can't be everything, right? I mean, look at this. I'll share my screen here just so you like it's nuts. There's no, I mean,
I found something on here too. This is a Tyler Fish Farm. It's based upon size. 2-inch bass, $1 a piece. 2.5, $2. 3-inch bass, about $3.50 a piece for certified pure Florida strain largemouth bass.
I wonder why these are so expensive. And that's minus shipping.
Yeah.
So I mean, like I need to go into the Florida strain bass environment there.
Lots of ponds.
So anyway, yeah, for sure. So JR, you went to Sam Rayburn, which is like if you heard of any of the top 10 bass lakes in America, you got to figure Sam Rayburn was one of them. So tell us about your trip. What happened?
It was awesome, man. It was I loved everything about it except the drive and the wind. So when we were down there, the wind was probably 15 miles per hour most days, which on the water that's pretty intense with gusts 25. And then so my buddy Chris has been going there since the 90s, and basically he's probably made about 2 dozen trips down there. I mean, and he said it'll be great as long as they don't pull down the water. And then I get down there and it's 8 feet below pool because they're working on the dam, which was kind of a bummer. But caught a lot of bass. Really learned to fish grass down there. Tons of grass. I can't imagine going back in the summer how much. So I did a ton of chatterbait fishing, a ton of lipless crankbait fishing, and not enough topwater, but some topwater. But it was a great time. I would definitely encourage anybody to go down there. But it won't be my last trip down that way for sure.
Place in Hillsboro, Ohio. Brandenburg Fish Hatchery. Maybe that's somebody else would take a look at. The one that you were at was like Lake White, or not Lake White. It was like Snowden, right? Snowden Fish Hatchery.
Like Snowden Fish Hatchery.
Yeah, that's actually in Jackson. Maybe we'll check that out too. So, a lot of new things are coming out this time of year. We've looked at a lot of new baits and stuff. There's a couple of baits that I'm really excited about this year. JR this is not a new bait, but it's an older bait. JR went to Texas and he's talking about lipless crankbait fishing. The Jackal TN60 is an absolute hammer of a lipless crankbait.
I put dozens in the boat with that. I mean, that and bladed jigs. I mean, were really the dominant fish catchers throughout the whole time. I mean, it was I would throw a spinner bait to a bladed jig, and bladed jig would catch it 5-1 probably.
All right. So that Jackal TN60, we talk a lot about Jackal baits, but there is a new bass bait that it's not new in Japan. It's new in America. Jeremy, I'm glad you said that because I'm getting ready to show you guys the drift fry. It is brand new in the United States. It's been in Japan for a while. Check this out. Limit 1 per customer due to limited availability. This is forward-facing sonar all day long, FFS. I get tired of talking about it, but I will own some of these things. Now, I will tell you, one of the things that this thing right here is going to be fire. Dude, that chartreuse fry, crazy. This flashing bait right here, and for some reason my computer is frozen. Not good. Anyway, this is a really cool bait. Forward facing sonar has a really cool like wobble to it. Really daggone cool. It is available in the United States. I texted my Shimano rep who they like what do you call it? They rep and they distribute for Jackal here in America. I texted him. I was like, "Hey, order me some of those Jackal drift fries. Ship them to my house. Let me know what I order you, what I owe you." And he said, his response to me back was, "The drift fry is available, but probably not accessible." So there's that. But new news today out of G Loomis, and that is something that we've been waiting on for a while. It seems like Loomis has been kind of they've been kind of dormant since the NRX Plus launch, which has been like 2 years ago. And a lot of people say, well, "Don't fix what isn't broken," and I'm that person. But today they released a new lineup of Bass GLX rods. GLX rods have been so right now the way this kind of sets up in the conventional bass world for Loomis is you have Conquest, which is the very top dog. You're looking at High Power X, you got Spiral X, you're looking at titanium guides, you have the CI4 reel seat. Like it is like the top dog. But the problem is with the Conquest, in my opinion, that it only comes in mag bass tapers, which I'm not a huge fan of. Mag bass is more of a moderate taper, whereas I like the fast and super fast tapers that come with NRX Plus and lower line. So next, you're going to come up with the NRX Plus lineup, which is going to be 625 to 660 MSRP, depending on what you buy. And then you're going to step down to the GLX rod, which is going to be, as you can see here on the screen, 525 to I think 550 is the highest. There's a 575 on flip and pitch here. But this is brand new redesigned. The NRX Plus has a multi-taper design. It has Spiral X construction. It has titanium guides. It has a CI4 Plus reel seat. It has recoil guides, which I'm a huge fan of. Love them or hate them. There's two camps. You either love the recoil guides or hate them. I am on the camp where I love them. And then step down into the new GLX. And the difference between this GLX and the NRX Plus is that you're getting now a multi-taper. Let's just find a jig and worm rod here. And if you are looking for any rod on the planet, no matter what it is, if it's Loomis, this right here, this 852S JWR, I promise you, stop here. The buck stops here. It's the best spinning rod on the planet, hands down. I've never met another one that I like. NRX Plus is my favorite, but what I'm talking about is the Length and the Power 852S JWR. So just to give you an idea of how this sets up is GLX is the rod series 852. So the first two numbers here are the length in inches. The third number is power. S either stands for, it'll be S or G or S or C. S for spinning, C for casting. JWR stands for jig worm rod. Something like BJR would be a bladed jig rod. TWR, top water rod. But anyway, this is a 7-1 medium extra fast, one piece spinning rod. Now, if we look at this picture here, they on purpose, they purposely designed this rod with a nostalgic look. Have an old school bait keeper here, which I really like. I personally, I have NRX Plus, which all have the bait keeper down towards the butt end of the rod. Thought I was going to be a huge fan of that. Turns out I'm not. I'm not a huge fan of that. One, you have to bring out more line. It's just I'm not a huge fan of it. So I like that they're putting this in front of the reel seat. So again, it's a nostalgic look, but a brand new redesigned blank that you're getting a couple of things. Again, right here, CI4 Plus and multi-taper. So you're getting a CI4 Plus reel seat and a multi-taper design, which is basically means that this is rolled on mandrels at Washington State, where they build every one of these rods on mandrels that are stepped down in certain areas or added to add more flexibility and more backbone in areas that have been prone to breakage. Now, you also are getting Fuji silicon carbide, so Fuji SIC guides, which used to be what came on the NRX, except for it had recoil guides, and then it went down to the Fuji K silicon carbide. Well, now on the NRX Plus, you're getting titanium guides. So this is a watered down version of the NRX Plus. You're not getting the Spiral X wrap like you would get coming from the Zodius line on this. You are getting the same real seat. You're getting the multi-taper design, and you're getting the Fuji silicon carbide guides. I personally have not handled one of these things yet. They just came out today. We've been talking to Drew Sadler, a buddy from Shimano. He seems to think that they are the best filling GLX that have ever been made, which I trust his opinion. I can't wait to get my hands on them. I will say this is the only rod series that I don't own personally. And that's for a lot of different reasons. One is the fact that obviously I'm supported by Shimano and G Loomis, and I get a decent discount on these things. I don't get rods free through Shimano. I do want people to understand that I get a good discount. I'm happy with the discount I get, but I don't get free rods. So this is not like a paid promotion. But if I'm going to spend the $500 on a GLX, I will almost certainly put in an extra $100 to buy the NRX Plus. Now, whether that's the same now with this rod series coming, I couldn't tell you. But I will tell you that this just now came out just today. I'm really pumped to get my hands on them. And that, again, it's a new G Loomis GLX.
Yeah, released for the Classic. So I wish we were going there and we could have, one, checked out all the new stuff, but two, cheered on Matt Messer since he's getting ready to represent our area of the world for the Bassmaster Classic.
Yeah, so that we were talking about, that's this weekend coming up.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So, yeah, so Matt Messer. There's a lot of talk out there. You gotta figure Jason Christie is the front runner for the favorite. Does Jason Christie put number 2 in the boat this year? I think that's yet to be seen. I think winning on your home lake is extremely hard because you fish. In my opinion, I think you fish probably a lot more memory than you do the fish. We have seen people do it before. We saw Casey Ashley do it. We saw, let's see, who was
Dustin Conrad on Red Crest on the lake, which is one of his home lakes.
Yeah. And then you have Edwin Evers, who won the last tournament here in Grand Lake, and it's pretty much his home lake, so it can be done. Of course, you have Ott Defoe winning down on the Tennessee River. There is history there, and it can be done, but I feel like that there's a monkey on your back. So there's a lot of people that I'm pulling for. Let's just look at the Bassmaster Classic 24 lineup. I haven't even looked at them.
Yeah, there's some rookies that have absolutely been tearing it up.
The coolest thing about the Bassmaster Classic is the fact that no matter what you've done, you made it there, and you're guaranteed $10,000. So I have a website here. We'll dig through this thing. Check it out. Oh man, that's a great question. I saw somebody post the other day. I can't remember who it was, but somebody said I brought a crankbait to a scoping fight the other day.
I think the answer is yes, it will, because that's kind of what we've been boiled down to. Is it's going to be used every tournament, some more than the others. But
speaking of which, Bassmaster Classic Angler Lives, look at this. Old Chase Sansom there, local guy, obviously working for BASS. Cooper Gallant, Scott Canterbury, Kenna Kimura, Will Davis Jr., Brock Mosley, Hank Cherry. Can Hank Cherry put number 3 in the boat? or in his trophy case. Justin Barnes, Aaron Yavorsky. So Matt Robertson is probably number 2 on my list. Number 1 is going to be Matt Messer, obviously, because he is a local guy. But man, I tell you what, if you could see Matt Robertson win any tournament ever, the Bassmaster Classic would be like it. Got Easton Fothergill, Joey Nanya. There's the man right there. Matt Messer, obviously very local to us, so really got a lot of pumped up thoughts for Matt, hoping to get out there and catch him. Gussie, obviously the reigning champion of the Bassmaster Classic. Jason Christie obviously has a classic under his belt as well. So Gustafson, Jason Christie, Hank Cherry, Patrick Walters can catch him too. Drew Cook, Clark Winlet. Kyle Welcher is always a pretty good choice in these tournaments, does really well. Carl Jacobson, Matt Airy, Kyle Patrick, Tyler Williams.
Yeah, that Tyler Williams guy has been the new one that's absolutely been killing it.
Help, Daddy.
Drew Benton, Josh Weisner, Pat Schlapper, Powell Kemp, Greg Hackney, Hack Attack, baby, Cody Huff, Ben Milliken, man. Like how can you not root for this guy? Like somebody said it the other day, and I don't know who it was. It might have been Kevin Baxter, or it might have been some Jared Caesar or somebody I posted on there, and they're like, Milliken, excuse me. Milliken just goes out and looks like he's so relaxed. And this guy that I'm talking about, whichever one of those guys said it, it makes sense to me now I thought about it. It says that he gets paid no matter what. A lot of his money comes in from being an influencer, which is cool. Like, how cool would it be to go out there and fish and knowing that you're probably going to get paid either way? Probably not as much, but you're definitely getting paid. Paul Mueller, obviously Lee Livesey did not come out on top on the Lake Fork tournament, but still had a decent turnout. Going to butcher this guy's name. Is it Tim Doobie or Tim Doob? Bob Downey. Seeing a lot of unfamiliar faces, which is cool. Hunter Shryock, Brian Schmidt. Did you guys see the video that Zaldane posted? Brian Schmidt has 4 12-inch Garmin graphs on his console and 3 on the front of his boat. 4 live scope transducers. David Gaston, Brian Smith, Austin Felix, a guy from out in Minnesota, I believe. He is used to be part of the JB's Fish Sauce team. Joey Fuentes, Adam Ramison, Cole Sands, Jay Security, Tyler Rivet, I think. I never can pronounce that guy's name right. Porosnik, Corey Johnston, Shane LaHue, Taco Idu. These people are people that you got to watch out for. Stetson Blaylock, Guyoya Fujita.
Yeah, he already won.
Luke Palmer, Chris Johnston, Brandon Polinick, John Cox, Brandon Card. That lines it out. You guys have seen the mix of them. Who's going to win this thing? Drop it in the comments. I am going to say
Christie.
Man, I don't know. So who do I want to see win it? Messer. Second, Matt Robertson. Who do I think has the best chance to win it? Man, I'm going to pull out a dark horse, and really probably not a dark horse, but probably is. I'm going to say that somebody, dude, I don't know. I think it sets up really well for the way that John Cox fishes. Milliken is
I love
a
John Cox, man. He is hilarious. Talk about somebody that's not going to be using live scope. That dude will not be using live scope.
yeah, never say never, but you're right. So like I don't know, man. Like I think Milliken has a shot. That's why it's called the Bassmaster Classic. It's the Super Bowl bass fishing, right? It's not like local hammers are going to have a little different situation. I think that Christie has to be the overwhelming favorite, but it's said it. I've said it 100 times, and it wasn't my saying, but it's always true. You can't win it on day one, but you can dang sure lose it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Milliken's been incredible. Every event he's done extremely well. So I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Was a good idea too, and so I think what you have to look at with these, I hate saying this Asian angler market or Middle Eastern, if you will. All these people, some of these people probably have been fishing for years and years and years without you knowing them. Some of them have not. But I think that what these anglers have on top of the American anglers is the fact that these people, and I'm not saying that like in any way disregarding all the American anglers because I'm sure they're the same way, but these guys have given up their entire lives to be here fishing. Family, friends, whatever they had, wherever they're from, they've come over here barely speaking a language, chasing a greenfish, that's very commendable for me. But those guys they're always, you have to throw them in the mix for sure. For sure.
Those Japanese anglers are incredible. I mean, they're the ones that are pushing the sport too. They're the ones that are coming up with these new. Think about the jerkbait and Ito and all of these new baits that have gotten so popular. They're all from Japan.
Yeah, Jackal is a Japanese brand, which is something I'm super passionate about. There's a lot of cool things that come out of Japan, which I'm super glad that we get that opportunity. It's really cool, but I don't know. And that is the truth right there. Like they're throwing baits that we've never seen before. Yeah, so that's a great thing, man. Like that's why I enjoy bass fishing anymore. Like you see all of these, like first off, bass fishing right now, the viewership has never been more polarizing. Like it's never been more polarized. You either have people that are against forward facing sonar or people that are for forward facing sonar. And I swear it feels like there's a line drawn in the sand and you can only choose to be on one side or the other. And if you choose to kind of straddle the fence, kind of like I do, like I understand why they use it because why not? Like it's a technique that's going to better your odds of catching fish. But I also think that if you don't know how to use it that well, like myself, I'm just now getting into it. It will spin you out quicker than it will actually help you because you look at fish all day long. If you can't catch them, who knows if they're bass or not, or are you throwing the right bait, etc. But like I think that the cool thing about bass now is I think that people are trying to come together, which is really cool. Love him or hate him, the Randy Blockett guy, he is like, Zal Dangerous called him the most polarizing bass fisherman on the planet, and it's true. Like he tries to pit people against each other, and the thing about it is, like nobody knew who Randy Blockett was until forward-facing sonar happened, and then he started this, crap about saying, "Oh, I'm gonna have tournaments without forward-facing sonar. It's cheating." Blah blah blah. Now the dude's got like 7 YouTube channels, and he posts like 7 videos a day to each one of those channels. Like he puts in the work, which is crazy. But like, where are we at in 10 years? I don't know. Couldn't tell you. I do think that you'll see these some tournaments come up and say there'll be a tournament like the National Pro Fishing League, the NPFL, that will off branch or offshoot, and it'll be an old school style tournament where no forward facing sonar. I don't even know if they'll allow electronics, maybe something like a depth finder or something. And you'll have people jump on board there, and that's going to be even more polarizing. You're going to have more people jumping ship there and saying this is better than that, but it kind of is what it is. And I think that's where it goes in 10 years from now, that it doesn't have BASS and FLW being the only ones in that the NPFL. But I also have had some weird suspicions that within the next 5 years, you'll see FLW and Bass merge. I don't know if that's the case, but I think it'll happen. I think it's been over, they split it up. You got a lot of anglers now and both of them, and that would be the only reason they wouldn't, which is crazy. Fishing Boat Docks, FBD. That is classic.
All for combining bigger, more competition, better tournaments.
I don't know if it'll happen. It'll be too many people. Speaking of which, huge bass tournament down in, I think it was Alabama or somewhere that had a Toyota Series down there. Yeah, started today, I think. Boat crash. One boat hit another boat on the bank, was like up on top of the boat on the bank. Crazy. I'll have to go out there and find that. But guys, be careful if you're out there tournament fishing. It's crazy. Finally got my boat back, by the way, thanks to Strix Marine Plus there in Wheelersburg. Put a new prop shaft in there for me, and I'm good to go. So sent my prop off to Mark Croxton in Indiana. He was very quick about getting my prop back to me. I shipped it out on a Friday. I had it back 10 days later, which is crazy. He fixed the prop, welded it back to where it needed to be. Didn't mean to do that. Holy crap. That sucks. And he does what's called blueprinting, which basically makes sure that it's all 100% like balanced and shaves off the leading edge of the prop. His website claims, and it's not like a guarantee, I don't guess, but he claims that if you have a high quality prop, what he does should gain you 1 to 2 miles per hour on the top end of your boat. If it's a lesser made prop and you send it to him and he does that stuff, you may gain as much as 4 miles per hour on the top end, which is crazy. But anyway, I got Mark Croxton, my prop back from him. I'm running right now a prop that Aaron Strickland from Strix Marine Plus is letting me borrow. It's a 26 pitch raker. I have a 28 pitch or 27 pitch turbo. I also have a 28 pitch raker that I'm going to be running on the river and things. But shout out to him for getting me going. New prop shaft, new seals, new water pump, impeller, etc. Back on the road. Sprayed some spray paint on the dings and divots in my lower unit, and I'm gonna go try her back out this weekend and see what's up. They're catching the fish. They're catching the crap out of the fish, and I am looking forward to getting out this weekend.
Hey, it snowed yesterday. Why not?
Yeah, for sure. If you don't like the weather in this area, just wait 5 minutes. But guys, we're on here about 45 minutes, about what time we like to wrap it up normally. Again, next week, we'll try to get, maybe we'll get Matt Messer on because that'll be after the Bassmaster Classic. Maybe he'll have that Bassmaster Classic trophy so we can check that out. Rooting for you, Matt, if you're out there watching. Hope you're out there killing them. Pretty excited to watch you on Bass Track and live and stuff. So it's a one. Hopefully, it's not a once in a lifetime opportunity for you, but it's definitely a opportunity that everybody on this show would like to be a part of, and we're rooting for you and backing you. But there is a few things coming up. If you are interested in a bass tournament, the Lawrence County Bass Club is having a tournament on Greenbow this weekend. If you're interested in fishing that, they ask that you please show up to the ramp early to pay your dues. I think it's like $25 per person per boat, and it's like $35 a year for your dues. And there's like a $10 big bass pot that's optional. But again, help out the treasurer, Todd there. If you want to fish with Lawrence County, you can show up to the ramp at Greenbow this weekend on Saturday. Pay all your dues and stuff and fish with them. That's not a problem. That's this weekend.
The Texas show or the Texas trip went great, man. Lots of grass fish for sure. Lots of bladed jigs and lipless crankbaits and 1 6-pound bass, but everything else was 3 and 4. We were just a little bit early, I think.
That's the way it goes, man. All the pros say this place will be on fire next week. If you're local, you better be out there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Anyway, guys, it's been a great show. We'll see you guys next week. We are going to try to get Darren Abbott, the Lawrence County Game Warden, on here to have a discussion about it. And if you guys missed the show today, House Bill 5033 was just introduced in West Virginia to release tiger bass, 4,000 of them in 7 different lakes, one of them being 45 minutes from here, Eastland Lake. Really cool deal. Really excited that things are getting on the ball to try to make our fishery better. So, you know how it is, guys. Leave the place better than you found it. I constantly do that. If I see stuff laying around in the lake or whatever, I can pack it out of there. I normally do, but it's usually, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. It's weird around this area about trash and stuff. But with that being said, it is 45 minutes of the show. Go out and check out some of our sponsors, solarbat.com, Columbia Sportswear, Malone's Marine in Ironton, Ohio. That's malonesmarine.com. Border Sporting Goods over there in Summit, Kentucky, and Picasso Lures. Tell them that we sent you. You're guaranteed to get a 0% discount, and it's guaranteed to not get us anything, but it is what it is. Those guys, again, Solar Bat, got some. I really like their glasses. Columbia has been a sponsor of mine for a long time. Malone's has been helping us out like crazy. Obviously, Jared just bought a new boat from there. Borders, Brad over there have been hooking us up with. Actually, Jared just bought some TN60s over there. There was some in stock.
Yep.
All right. So
on the home state of West Virginia too for leading the charge.
All right, ladies and gents, we will see you guys next week. Same bat time, same bat channel here on Another Line. You guys know what to do if you guys can get out there and lean on them. We'll see you next time on Another Line. See y'all.